So your character has become kind of like a little mini style.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit
Yeah,
about
you know, it's awesome because my first audition was Styles. Like, it was his sides. It was for the first episode when he was talking about, you know, there might be werewolves in Beacon Hills. And I just remember the notes were just mimicking his character. I'm Styles 2.0. That's kind of how I saw it. So it was awesome, man. It's cool to see Mason actually be referred as that, as relatable to Styles. Like, people can, because that means I guess I did my job. That's what I was. No, I mean, that's great. I think the writers, they set it up in a way where it's easily to discern because, you know, it's me and Liam, and so I'm pretty much his Styles and he's the new Scott. So, yeah.
So, what would you say is the main difference between your character and Styles?
The difference between Mason and Styles? You know, that's a good question because there's a lot of similarities. I mean, their ability to problem solve, their lightheartedness, their always jokingness. Yeah, I don't think there's too many differences. I just think one thing that I see that Mason expresses a little more is nah, man, he does the same thing. Like, he goes into danger for his friends, but Styles does the same thing. I think they're very similar, just in different bodies, man. They might just be the same person.
Yeah, and then at this
I mean,
point,
Styles likes girls. Mason doesn't, so that's a big difference. Yeah, left that one out.
And then at this point, like, Mason has been through it. Like, he's been through pretty
Right.
much everything. So,
Yeah.
did you do anything different, like, to approach his character coming into 6B?
Yeah, dude, I was so thankful that I got to have a character arc.
Yeah.
Because from season 4 and season 5, you know, most of the notes that I would get, the director would come and, you know, Mason's excited. This is all new, and he's excited. No matter how real the danger is, it's still very exciting to Mason. This season, there wasn't that. There wasn't. It's exciting that happened, but now it's like, you know, it's very serious. There's people who have died already, and, you know, people that he knows. He's witnessed his best friend lose his girlfriend. I mean, there's a lot that I wanted to explore the darker side of Beacon Hills, because Mason's always been the ray of sunshine, but it'd be cool to see a little bit of darkness.
And as an actor, what's it like joining this long-running show and becoming part of this family only for the end following year before you had a chance to meet
I mean, I'm still eternally grateful because I just remember, like, this is a show that I had friends that they would be over at my house and we'd be all hanging out and they'd be like, oh dude, Teen Wolf is on, I gotta go. And they'd run, like sprint home because they're 5 minutes late. I never watched the show and I was just like, oh wow, like, people like the show. And then next thing you know, I'm on that very show and I'm just like, it's strange. It's in a beautiful way because I never thought I'd be here talking to you guys or any of that, you know? So I'm thankful. I'm glad I got to witness the end. You know, it's awesome to be a part of something from the beginning to the end, but to join the middle and still people accept you as like you were there from the beginning, you can't ask for better. So every year it's I don't really think about it because it's an overwhelming experience as an actor. It's an accomplishment to be a part of something that is so well respected. People like it. You know, there's a lot of actors that are doing things that no one knows about. It's just, you know, but this is awesome that people enjoy it. So I'm thankful. I'm excited. I soak up every bit of it. You know.
And you had the closing panel for Teen Wolf yesterday, and I know that there were some very heartfelt goodbyes. But was there anything that you weren't able to say on stage in front of the 6,000 people that you'd like to share now?
Oh man, I'm pretty sure there's so much, but I mean, yeah, we said it a lot, and that's something that seems a little cliche, but when we say thank you to the fans, we talk about that when the cameras are off, like how we appreciate. I mean, we go around the country and people are watching the show that we make in Los Angeles. So we talk about how thankful we are, and that's one thing that really does motivate us. It's not an ego thing. It's not because it makes us feel good. It's today I got to sign pictures and that made them happy.
It does.
That did nothing for me. No effort, but that made them happy. So the fact that we do that, it's a big responsibility, and it touches our hearts to hear people that, you know, when that girl, we wanted to actually find her, the last girl that asked the question to Tyler, and said how she went through some pain and things like that. There's so many people with that same story that have gravitated to a show that made them feel better, and I don't think of that. While we're filming, we're not thinking of those moments, and then it affects people. It's incredible. It truly does something to us. So I think that's one thing I wish I could have said. Just truly thank you, not as like an actor saying it just because I'm supposed to. Like we really do appreciate it.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So then So 68 did such an amazing job of passing the torch to the next generation.
Yeah.
Most shows normally fail miserably.
Yeah.
So is there something you want to tell us? Are we getting a spin-off?
Oh man, that would be awesome. I would not be opposed to that. There's a lot of rumors going on about a lot of things. I can't really say. I can just do what I'm doing and see what happens. But I would love that. Yeah, I think one thing that we will see in 6B is that baton being passed, truly. Because knowing that regardless of the outcome, if we see Teen Wolf again, Beacon Hills will be safe because there's going to be people there always to protect.
I'm going to be negative. I don't understand why 6B is even needed. Because I feel 6A is kind of saying that you're going to do the show.
Right.
So why is 6B needed and why should we return?
Because I think one of the coolest elements of the show, I actually am a big fan of the writing and the ideas that are tossed around. And Teen Wolf's bad guys, I think, are my favorite. I mean, all of the bad guys. Theo's has been my favorite, the Oni, all of those guys are the stars, in my opinion. I truly gravitate towards all of the Dread Doctors and everything. So this season, I think our bad guys is they top themselves. Like last season, it was like, oh wow, how can it get worse? They find a way to make it worse for us to conquer. So I think it's one last hurrah, and it has a lot of things that are relatable to this present time, which is you guys will clearly see. But I don't want to give too much away. But it's very relevant. So I think there's a message to be told still. It's not finished yet.
What's ahead? We talked a little bit about Jason and Corey, because I know I've seen Jeff talks about how it's one of his favorites.
Yeah.
Dynamics and relationships on the show. You tease what 6B might hold.
Yeah, well, 6B, man, it's there's challenges, and having a relationship through challenges, external challenges, internal, whatever that is, being able to stick together and hold on to that love, that bond, I think that's going to be something very cool to see. Because that's really what Teen Wolf is all about, regardless of what gender, anything. There's a love bond between all of them. So keeping that intact while everything is just going crazy, I think that's what's going to be great that we can see Mason and Corey specifically go through.
Seeing, there's a couple of returning favorites coming back.
Yeah.
Corey, Mason's introduced.
Right.
So, is there any that you're excited about?
That's the thing, man. Since Mason is kind of in the secondary pack, he's doing his own thing. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of moving parts. So it's kind of like the old pack is reuniting while the new pack is doing their thing. So we're all together, even though Mason was on a different mission. I wish I got to work with them, but meeting them now is actually dope. This is my first time actually shaking Colton's hand. So Colton.
Oh.
Yeah. I never met him until this time, so it's cool. It's one thing I wish I had a lot more one-on-one with every single one of the characters, but didn't have enough time to do that.
So since your time has been short on the show, can you talk a little bit about what did you want to see? Is there anything that you wanted to do on the show that didn't get a chance?
Yeah, there's two things. It was talked about. Is that for me? Oh, thank you. She's a mind reader, because I was thinking of it. 1 second. I think it would have been awesome if Mason got to talk to Styles. Because Jeff told me,
Yeah, you never.
Yeah, Jeff was saying, there was a potential scene where it's like Mason is asking Styles, like, why didn't you take the bite? Why did you stay, who you are? And Styles has a good moment because Mason chooses not, he wants to be himself as well. So having that heart-to-heart, just being the two humans of the pack, getting some advice from Styles, that would have been dope. Also, yeah, it would have been great. Yeah, and then also I think when Parrish was, he's the Hellhound and I was the Beast, it would have been a very comical moment, I think, like, reunited with Parrish, like, yo, sorry, man, like, I didn't mean to almost kill you there, like, something like that. I think it would have been cool to have me and Parrish talk about that I was the Beast, because after I was the Beast, it was just kind of on to the next thing. It's on to the next thing. There's too much going on to even mention that, so I wish there was a moment where we could have. Yeah, because there's so much going on all the time in Beacon Hills, so, yeah.
And do you think the coach knows that everyone's aware?
Either he's on, like, he's heavily medicated and he's on a lot of drugs, or he should know by now. He should know.
He's my favorite character.
Yeah, he's awesome. Orny is the best. Like, every time I'm working with him, there's a scene too. I'm holding in my smile like every time because like he's barely scripted. Like, he does what he wants. He says what he says, and people love him for it. Yeah.
You guys are judge wrapping. So looking back, were you pleased with how they wrapped kind of Mason's arc, where they left things?
Yeah. Because there's a few scenes, man, that I got to discover about Mason. Because just as much as, you know, the audience discovered as a character, the actor has to too. Because I didn't know where Mason was going to go the first script. So that discovery process was great, and there's a couple scenes that I got to really show a different side of him. So I'm thankful for that. I think it went well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
You sitting here?